you have a lot of stakeholders
Yep.
that you're fighting for, right? So
Yep.
you want to get the best economics. The investor side, I think there's also a little bit of, if you're asking every pitch for what is the story of how it gets to this $1 billion thing, that's what you're going to receive.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of founders, everybody's kind of trying to figure out how to draw a unicorn somewhere in the deck.
Yeah.
And so I think in some ways that's self-manifesting.
Yep.
That you're going to get kind of aggressive pictures in the deck. So how do we get to like a balance point where that first meeting can go well?
A relationship with those investors.
Mm-hmm.
And look, it's a little different on the public side, right? While I didn't take a company public, I was at a company that we did a massive acquisition, bought a company more than double our size, and it was pretty much the equivalent of your first board meeting after financing, right? And so, what are you going to tell them to look for? What should they be watching? The relationship you have with an investor is going to dictate how much flexibility you have to work with. And I'm going to go even further and say, how much time did you invest in being honest and building credibility with that investor?
In the due diligence process.
In the due diligence process. And look, on the public side, it's not like you're not talking to the possible, big institutional leads that are going to be on your back later. How do you build credibility with those organizations? And I'm a believer in transparency, but transparency also can go too far when doing a financing. So as much as you can tell them, keeping it as clear as you can, making sure that the things you're sharing now are the right things they should be watching for later. We're going to make progress in Europe next year with operations. Is that real, or is that just because you think that's a bigger total available market and you want to be excited?
Yeah.
If you're going to communicate it, you expect to be held to it later.
Yeah. Now, how do you communicate because there is some degree of having to show, here's what could happen. How do you define what I'm talking about as could happen versus I'm saying this is going to happen?
And it is, once again, it's that. You just nailed it, right? It's like, this is our plan. If we do this, we could do that. If we do this, we could do that.
Yeah.
The optimistic plan doesn't happen without some action.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever seen an optimistic plan that didn't mean I have to hire a new salesperson, I have to have a product?
Yeah.
So what's the cause effect?
Right.
Be clear what if we do this, that happens.